Hello, I'm Troy Marshall, and I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of the Marshall Minute. This week, I wanted to talk about the Choice Select spread and why I feel it's dead and why we just haven't buried it yet from an industry standpoint. This week, we did see the Choice Select spread invert, where Select actually traded at a premium to Choice. It's not the first time we've seen that, probably won't be the last. And seasonally, it is the time of year where the Choice Select spread is the narrowest. And I probably ought to mention here too that when you look at the Choice Select spread from an annual basis, it's still pretty strong from a historical viewpoint as well. But I think if we talk about the Choice Select spread as being seasonal, we're really missing the point because what we're seeing is a structural change in our industry. This very week, we had about 9% of the cattle grade in USDA Select, while 14% of the cattle went into the USDA Prime grade. When you compare that to 20 years ago and where we were from a quality grade mix and demand standpoint, we've turned the industry nearly upside down and inverted that as well. I would say that Select it used to be the baseline. It was the floor of the industry, and that's where we based all quality upon. Today, it's barely part of the conversation, and yet we talk about it like it's the North Star in pricing or in signing value when it really isn't. It's a relic or a leftover metric from a time when the goal really was to produce cattle that were simply good enough. But today, the problem is not having cattle that will avoid Select when essentially everything is Choice or better. The price spreads that matter are the CAB to Choice or the Prime to Choice price spreads, because that's where we see that the premiums are live, the signals are real, and where the market is sorting and segregating our product based upon value. And that kind of brings me to this week's kind of uncomfortable truth, and that is if you are managing cattle or selecting genetics or marketing your calf crop based on hitting the Choice grade, you are really solving yesterday's problems. So we've talked about Select is no longer the baseline. It is a niche market, an important niche, and a niche that will probably continue to be important for quite some time. But we are becoming a market that is a quality market that is segmented based upon quality versus what we were, which was a market that was trying to achieve a minimum level of quality and getting cattle into the Choice grade. You know, the marketplace today is not one where we're really trying to avoid discounts, but rather we're trying to make our cattle good enough and differentiated enough to achieve consistent premiums in the marketplace. And I think it's really a testament to what you all have done from a genetics and a management standpoint. I salute you for that. But that is why I say that the Choice Select spread is dead. We just haven't buried it yet. Thanks. Look forward to seeing you down the road, and have a great day.